Danny pulled the editorials from Daily Guide and Chronicle for me. Last week, I did an editorial, 2 days or 3 days of editorial on the Ghana Immigration Service. Be reminded that the Ghana Immigration Service, by a survey, is the second most corrupt institution in this country. The Ghana Police is number 1. And I did and asked questions. As usual, the questions are not being answered, but people are casting insinuations and making allegations without facts. I asked questions with facts and figures and showed you documents. Those questions are hanging, and that's the characteristics of our leadership in this country. You say, oh, why is the light not on? They say, oh, you cry, you used not to have light in your house. That's not the question. Adam, where are you? It's a question of geography. I am under the tree. I am in the hall. I am in the kitchen. Adam, where are you? He says, I am naked. A question of geography. You are giving biology. Coup at Immigration Service. That's the Chronicle. I will read it. There's simmering tension at the Ghana Immigration Service over attempts to push its Controller General, Mr. Kwame Isuatechi, to go on retirement. Be reminded that he's been given 2 years contract extension. He has gone past 60. My hashtag is let the retirees go. Hashtag let the retirees go. Hashtag let the young grow. How old was Dr. Kwame Nkrumah when he won independence for this country? 48. So when you have people who have gone past 60, who have gotten contracts, who are calling others who are under 50, they are calling them you a small boy, like Ken Odamwa did to OSP, you a small boy. The age of Methuselah has nothing to do with the wisdom of King Solomon. Now, what appears to be a coup d'etat follows a letter from the Deputy Controller General in charge of legal research and monitoring, Madam Baba Asari, issuing a letter directing Mr. Techi to go on retirement. This letter, which was circulated widely across the regional commands of the service, was amid rumors that the government has asked the Controller General to hand over to Baba Asari and proceed on leave. In an open letter to President Akufo-Addo, the concerned senior officers believe the posture of Baba Asari is akin to a coup. Your Excellency, this botched coup d'etat set the tone of numerous negative media bashing against the Controller General to oust him out of service. Sir, Madam Baba Asari is one of the lawyers in the service that TV3 of Media General, that's why I'm responding to it, is lobbying to become the Controller General of Immigration. If you ask me whether I've seen Baba before, I don't know her. I've never seen her before. If you ask me whether I've seen her before, met her before, whether she has called me before, I don't know her. I don't know. Me, I don't go to people's offices like other journalists do. I've had people say, oh, come to my office, let's have it. I won't go. Me, I won't come. If you are not my friend before you came into politics, I won't come. And they know it. I won't come and ask you for anything. They know it. I won't beg you for anything. They know it. I won't ask you for a cheat. They know it. I won't beg you for money. I won't beg you for school fees. I won't beg you for anything. They know it. And I dare anybody who says I've come to beg them for anything. So the people say it's a coup. Now, the interesting thing is that how is it that the Controller General of Immigration, who has refused that there should be a Senior Officers Association, now has under his watch, suppose what? They say they call themselves what? What do you call it? Senior staff, right? Concerned senior staff, senior officers, the concerned senior officers. Under Controller General, they have refused to allow you to have a Senior Officers Association. You say you are all confused. You are throwing dust into people's eyes. Motro mojo. Now, it says the concerned, now the concerned senior officers continue. Say, without intending to run her down, she is not fit to occupy such a position. Why is she not fit? Is she not fit because she's a woman? Is Lawyer Techi himself not a lawyer? And there are senior officers who say Lawyer Techi himself did not undergo the rudimental military exercise and training and formation, as they call it. So if Lawyer Techi cannot do it or can do it, why can't the lady do it? And I'm not promoting her, but I'm asking a question. They say it's a coup that I am pushing. We'll get to it. Now, the group held that the motive behind the coup is to force the president to withdraw the contract given to Mr. Kwame Isuatechi, and this was well articulated by TV3 with a direct appeal to you to do so, sir. So you see, if you're a young immigration officer, you have just entered as an ASI, know that there are some senior officers at the top who are benefiting perhaps from the rot, who don't want somebody to go because once they go, the imminent change which people are asking for within the service will be exposed. So they are just interested in what they can get. Now, it talks about what? We all know that approval of the contract for extension service was based on his hard work, which has gone a long way in contributing to the growth of Ghana. It says hard work. But the financial clearance that I showed you last week from the Ministry of Finance says that unless the person has a special skill which cannot be found in the service, the person must go. If the person has a special skill where they can't find, they can stay and train somebody within a 2-year period. You are talking about hard work. The government is talking about exceptional skills. Question, does Mr. Techi have the exceptional skills? 2, is it true that there are people there who can also do the job? And 3, why is there no rank of Commissioner of Immigration? That's one question I asked. Answer the questions. That's what I'm looking for. Describing it as wicked lie from a heart of smeared with hatred, the concerned senior officer's rubbish claims of a supposed rift between Mrs. Techi and Mr. Techi and the now deceased Deputy Commissioner of Immigration, DCI Peter Nanto. The Controller General spent over 100,000 Ghana cedis. Drawn from where? Answer that question. On DCI Nanto to go through surgery in the bid to save his life. But while he was on oxygen support, you got somebody else to replace him. On his demise, Mr. Techi paid for their airfares, hotel accommodation and feeding for all regional commanders who wrote their names to attend the funeral. Although Mr. Techi couldn't be at the funeral due to other important national assignments, he delegated the Deputy Controller General in charge of Finance and Administration to represent him. And last week I told you that Mr. Techi did not attend the funeral of Mr. Nanto. Thank you for confirming it. So my information was not wrong. Mr. Techi was in Ghana. He didn't go to the funeral. The question is, why? He paid for this, he did this, he was in Ghana. Why didn't he go? What national assignment? Tell us. Then he put a daily guide one for me, and I've asked 4 questions. For a Controller General who is not interested in a Senior Officers Association, how would he sit and watch a so-called concerned Senior Officers Association come up? For a Controller General who was in Ghana at the time that Mr. Nanto was buried, and he didn't attend, but did everything. Why? Where did he draw the 100,000 from? And is the immigration service so rich that if I'm sick, I can get 100,000 at a time when he has cancelled medical benefits? And is it true that you have cancelled medical benefits for officers such that when they are sick, whether they are in Yankpala or Hamile, or they are in Bumpurugu, or they are in Doje, they need to come all the way to the headquarters at the immigration service to be able to come and access healthcare? And who owns the clinic? Who owns the clinic? Is there a conflict of interest situation? This is the editorial of the Daily Guide. It says not even President Akufo-Addo, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, has been spared the machinations of his political rivals turned adversaries. The head of state institutions in these countries is set to set up oneself for integrity attacks. Head of security organizations, statutory organizations, you name them, have all suffered frivolous and endless substantiated assaults in both traditional and social media. We can only wonder sometimes when we read or hear the kinds of things people hired for such operations say about their targets. Mind you, the Daily Guide is a pro-government newspaper. In many of these attacks, aggrieved and sulking persons within public or even security institutions who have been paid, the pipers dictate distracted tunes as they sing along in their corners. The police administration had in recent times responded to attempts at discrediting it by such killjoys after the IGP descended on so-called outcome of studies. And I've asked the IGP, you have a research department, sir. Can you please use your research department? You are a PhD holder. Yesterday, you addressed the congregation at the UPSC. Can you please, sir, use your, your research department instead of dismissing the reports of the results of a study? Can you use your research department to say, we have also conducted a counter research by ourselves and on our own, and this is the result we have found that what you said was wrong, as opposed to just saying that we are not corrupt? Because we know of procurement deals where civilians and we know within the police service, they themselves called. And I'll get there next week. I know people have been following me, I know. I know people have been scheming, let him vanish for a while, I know. I know all of those ones. In fact, at some point, I even bought food for 2 people who were telling me. When they realized I had seen them, they moved away. I was with my cousin. So I know. I am not as ignorant as you assume. But the truth must be told and must be asked. Now, this is what he said. The Ghana Immigration Service, Controller General, has had a stand last week as he was put on the spot incessantly in a project which has turned out to be a sponsored one from some sulking personalities. Question, who sponsored who? If you claim that somebody has sponsored, mention the person's name. mention how much was used to sponsor. And in the name of God, I can swear in church, I can swear before any shrine or deity. I want us to come together. If you are making it, show your faces. Let's go to any point and show me, and we will swear whether or not I took money, and whether or not anybody, I don't know for anybody, I'm speaking for myself, that I took money to say these things, to ask these questions, and whether or not I have taken any money at all to do what I'm doing. I say, let the retirees go and let the young grow. Hashtag. Now, it says that, fortunately, President Akufo-Addo is not the type who gets carried away by frivolities, having continued to endure more integrity attacks by irresponsible and self-seeking persons. The objective of the machination, as referred to in the previous paragraph, is to reduce to zero the many strides made by the Controller General since assuming the leadership of the GS. I don't intend to take anything away from him. I'm only asking questions. Now, it is sad how we are quick to allow ourselves to be used to destroy other hard-earned career reputations just because we are eager to be noticed and placed in such positions. The trait in some Ghanaians is so sad. Now, listen to this one. Even persons with skeletons in their cupboards have the guts to point fingers at others. We know about persons who hardly sit at their desks to work, yet have time to go and plot such evil deeds against persons whose innovations in the GIS have raised morale against the rank and file, save themselves. Who has skeleton in their cupboard? The senior officers are saying that the Controller General was interdicted in 2013 for visa and permit fraud or infractions or malpractices. He was reinstated in 2017 by a court order. The people are asking questions as to why somebody who was interdicted in 2013 for a similar thing has now decided that all regional commanders have no longer the permission to grant permits to residents and renew them. So they all have to bring the money down to Accra. And then when they come, is it true, sir, that when the expatriates are supposed to undergo medical tests and COVID-19 tests, they do not accompany, not all of them accompany the monies that they send, but they actually get a small mechanized receipt to prove that they have gone through the test? Is it true? Is it true that one of your ADCs has abandoned you and left and gone abroad without the tacit permission of the Interior Minister? He's supposed to get a pass. Did he get it? That your ADC, one of your key secretaries, he has left. Is it true that you are promoting people within your secretariat over and above their seniors, such that a certain Ganser who was part of Intake 4 is now ahead of his people? Is it true? Is it true that you are bringing down regional commanders to the position of sector commanders? Is it true? Regional commanders, some with as many years as 12 years experience. Is it true? And I want you to answer the question. Is it true that somebody got promoted 2 times in a day, was recalled from interdiction, brought on, promoted to superintendent, and promoted to chief superintendent the same day? Is it true? And is it true that that person had given his uniform to somebody to impersonate as an officer of immigration service at the U.S. Embassy in order to get a visa, and he was identified by a retired director of immigration and he was arrested, brought to the HQ? When he was questioned, that person was mentioned. Is it true? And is it true that that individual who was promoted 2 times in a day is your in-law and married to your niece or relation? Is it true? Is it true, sir? Is it true? I'm asking you, is it true? If you dare me, I will ask more questions because I have the documents and I'll prove it. Don't try that your thing with me. Don't try it. Me, I eat based on my integrity. Don't try me. Don't try. Don't ever try it. So Daily Guide and Chronicle, this is a warning to you. Don't try. Don't let it. Look, there was a senior immigration officer who called me after I finished my program on Tuesday. He's part of the top. He called me. He wanted audience. He said, where can we meet? If you dare me, I'll mention his name and show you the text. Don't try me. Don't come and say somebody gave me money. If you, in your position, will be so corrupt and so compromised to take money, it's not me. Don't try me. Don't cross that line. And my father told me when I was 12 that it's only people who will steal when they are given the opportunity, or when they have opportunity and nobody is watching, who will assume that everybody else will steal because they would have stolen. It is only people who will be corrupt when nobody is watching, have no integrity, who would assume that everybody will be like that. Don't cross that line. I've told you before, when I was young, they used to drive me PS5 with a motorcade in front. They used to salute my father. He would pick me before they drop me. They used to serve me sandwiches when I was a boy. Me, I've not come from a village to come and be enjoying. Sorry to my brothers who come from the villages, who are still humble and meek. If you are benefiting from the largest, I'm saying that it is only the people around a controller general. Are you suggesting to me that there's nobody within the immigration service? Forget about Baba Asari. Nobody within the immigration service who can take over? I will come to the other senior officers who have benefited from 2-year contracts and are seeking another 2-year contract with their pot bellies. I'll show you. And I'll tell you why they need to go home, play with their children and grandchildren, so that the young people who are ASIs, DSIs, and superintendents, they can also climb up and also become big boys and big girls. I'll tell you. If you write an editorial, I will bring I have questions. Today, I've not even finished asking my questions. I've only asked 4. If you try, cross that line. Good morning.